Hello friends, I'm Shrish and welcome to my channel Learning Purely. Normally, I would go about saying that I share tips and tutorials to help you grow faster in your professional and personal life. However, in this video, I'm not going to give you a tutorial on anything. The entire world is going through an unprecedented and a life-altering event. However, are we even ready to face the aftermath of this situation? We will talk about this in a moment. Stay tuned. Welcome back. I always sign off every video of mine by saying stay healthy and stay peaceful. I believe there isn't a more appropriate moment to understand the relevance of this and implement it. Just before you think that it's just one of those health videos, this isn't. So hold on to your horses. Before we go ahead, just to remind you, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, do consider doing so and hit the notification bell. Like the video and share it with your friends and acquaintances so that they too can benefit from this knowledge. A little while ago, I was referring to a life-altering event that we are all facing. Some of us are even going through an unimaginably tough situation. However, what a lot of us are probably unaware is the aftermath when normalcy, or whatever we may call it, returns. Just to provide a perspective, studying and trying to understand some of the events like war, famine and outbreaks in the history of our civilization, the flow of any event has mostly been as follows. Destruction brought on by war and or famine combined with or independently with disease cause death of humans. This causes the dread or fear of death. This fear brings on the destabilization of normal life and the environment, which further leads to physical and or mental dismemberment of human beings alongside economic depression. Death is a reality for any living creature, and the dread of death and not war, famine and or disease makes us think in extraordinary ways, leading to exceptional outcomes. Be it hoarding on protective gear or essential food items, the action is triggered by the fear of death. This behavioral change is a result of the well-known fight or flight instinct described by Walter Bradford Cannon, an American physiologist. The fight or flight response is an acute stress response that takes place as an instant reaction to a perceived harmful event, attack, or threat to survival. However, it has been studied that if acute stress stays on for a prolonged duration, it can transform into a chronic disorder. Various studies amongst war veterans and the Holocaust survivors have significantly pointed out comorbid conditions alongside anxiety, depression, obsessive-compulsive disorder or OCD, and post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD. The health problem that the entire world is facing today surfaced sometime post-November for quite a few countries, gaining extreme severity within days, leading to isolation and complete lockdown in almost all countries around the world. As on date, 4 months have passed and things have not yet come completely under control. Further, medical experts are indicating a longer period for true normalcy to return from the day the mayhem of the infection began. In fact, we could already be observing some effects of the aftermath in the present day. This further cements the need for this discussion, since post the aftermath we are going to deal with increased instances of mental dismemberment in the form of anxiety, depression, OCD, PTSD, to name a few. And this can happen to any one of us, since whether affected by disease or not, we are all combating varying degrees of acute stress. By not acknowledging this, each one of us would be living in a state of denial. It is medically proven through various studies that stress and prolonged stress stay embedded in the mind and work at subconscious levels to have behavior-altering effects. These could be things like irritability, disturbed sleep, lowered tolerance levels, incoherent thinking, latent anger, lowered appetite, disturbed digestion, and in extreme cases lead to hypertension, diabetes, heart diseases, and heart palpitation, and many such other ailments. Stress and depression are known to lower immunity levels, making a person further susceptible to any disease. In today's trying times, life has anyway been fragmented. So would you want to pick up the fragments and restart your life with these self-debilitating conditions inflicted upon you by none other than you? You can avoid all this by refusing to stay in the state of denial. A state of denial is like having an ego, which is everyone's greatest obstacle that eliminates growth opportunity. In one of my previous videos, I had mentioned that ego has inverse proportionality to acceptance and therefore change. Link to this video is posted above. The change that we are referring to over here is the habit that transforms you to move ahead and grow. We are going to look at some 15-mile habits that will help you stay clear of the effects of the aftermath. The video link to the 15-mile journey is posted above. In a snapshot, the 15-mile journey is about defining goal for 3 stages. That is, the soul stage, the mind stage, and the body stage, which we'll see in a moment. The first stage, being the soul stage, is where we define a single-minded purpose, which is why we want to achieve what we want to achieve. The second stage is the mind stage, where we define at most 3 tasks on what we want to achieve. And finally comes the third stage, which is the body stage, in which we define at most 5 actions to be undertaken for each of the 3 tasks defined in the previous stage, which is the mind stage. But before we embark on the 15-mile journey, let me remind you to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Like the video, share it with your friends and acquaintances, and let them get the benefit from this information. In today's challenging times, the need of the hour is to stay healthy and to maintain a calm mind. Therefore, in the first stage of the 15-mile journey, that is the soul stage, we will define our passion as being healthy and peaceful. The purpose being that we want to stay in the best of any physical and mental health for our and our family's growth. Stagnation leads to nothing but despair. So the only outlook is a positive outlook towards moving on ahead. In the second stage, which is the mind stage, we will etch out not more than 3 goals that we will follow through on a daily basis. These 3 goals are spiritual health, mental health, and physical health. Sounds familiar, right? But hold on. In each of these 3 goals, we are going to look at tasks that are simple and different from what you may have heard before. Moving on to the third stage of the 15-mile journey, that is the body stage, we will define not more than 5 actions for each of the 3 tasks we have set up in the earlier mind stage. To keep it simple, I am suggesting 3 actions for each task. You are at complete freedom to choose up to 5. For spiritual health, there are 3 things that everyone could do every morning once you are awake. First and foremost, whether healthy or recuperating, be thankful to the Supreme Being that you have woken up to face the next day in your life. You woke up alive because He has a plan etched out for you. We may not know it, but the fact that we are awake, there is a plan. Secondly, be grateful that you have a roof on your head, food to eat, and money to pay your bills. There are many out there who may not have this luxury at all. Take one day at a time. Be grateful that you are still alive and kicking. Thirdly, remember to keep faith in the Supreme Being who has given us our life, this planet, the environment, and food for every living creature. There could be a reason for everything happening around us. No doubt, and sadly, many lives have been lost. The human loss is unfathomable and irreparable. Being oppressed is never a reason to celebrate. But then, look and feel around you outside your window. The world is very calm, with the din of the vehicular noise no longer present. Transport having come to a standstill, you will hear the nature rejoicing. The water in the canals of Venice is much cleaner due to lowered boat activity. Even Mumbai coast has suddenly seen a presence of dolphins that had disappeared quite some time ago. The nature is healing around you. Most important, we still have a world to live in. For mental health, 3 tasks that you could do are listed as follows. First thing to do once you're out of bed is to make your bed. Seeing an organized and a well-kept bed will keep your mind organized and clutter-free. Secondly, meditate or practice mindfulness to calm down the din in your head. Let go of every sound that has activated itself in your brain in the morning. An important concept in physics and engineering called the signal-to-noise ratio states that when the noise, which is unimportant information, gets minimized, the signal or the important information gets amplified. Focus and seek this signal or the useful information that is needed to keep you going through life. This could be related to the work, activity, or passion that you indulge in on a regular basis to keep you productive. Expectation of any form is also a form of noise. Expectation breeds despair. Think about it. Why would anyone want to live in a world that caters to your expectations? Or for that matter, would you like to live in a world that caters to someone else's expectations? So lose all expectations. Stop tormenting yourself with the noise. Thirdly, pray and chant the Lord's name aloud. Whichever faith you may belong to, the chant that you undertake creates a vibration around you that helps calm the mind. Many people chant Om to quieten the mind. As per a medical study related to chanting Om, a significant deactivation of the limbic system, especially the amygdala, was observed. Conditions such as anxiety, autism, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, and phobias are suspected to being linked to the abnormal functioning of amygdala, owing to damage, developmental problems, or neurotransmitter imbalance. Those interested in the study could look up the link posted in the description below. And finally, for maintaining physical health, you could do the following 3 actions. First, we will address the physical movement related tasks. Exercise at least 30 minutes a day. Keep the body moving. Your body is your mechanical engine to undertake any activity to achieve an outcome. Keep it well oiled and moving through exercise. Meditation combined with exercise helps vent and blow a lot of pent-up steam, since it releases endorphins, dopamine and serotonin, which helps to relieve stress, boosts your mood and overall sense of well-being. Surya Namaskar in yoga is a good full body exercise. Additionally, in yoga, pranayama is a good breathing exercise. Even through the day, even if you are working from home, move around the house every 30 minutes to 1 hour. Sit less. Don't stay glued to any screen for a very long duration. Take a 20 to 30 second break every 30 minutes to an hour of work that you put in. Next, do not forget to stretch often. If you're staying in an apartment, go to the window and observe the world outside. Look up in the clear sky. Watch and listen to the birds chirping. If you're staying in a house with a backyard, go and take a stroll in your backyard. Secondly, let's look at what to consume. Most important, do not forget to drink ample water. And I'm referring to room temperature water, not cold water. Remember the water breaks around the office water cooler? Take these water breaks with your periodic stroll around the house. Hydrate yourself regularly. Since any commute is curtailed, you're not going to exert and expend a lot of energy. So eat less. This way you will also be able to ration your food supplies. Do not eat refined or external sugar or candies. Instead, eat more veggies and fruits. The idea is to take a balanced diet. Reduce the intake of caffeine or tannin. Caffeine is a known nervous system stimulant, and in high quantities, tannin in tea is known to disturb the digestive system. Refrain from smoking or nicotine or consumption of alcohol in any form. Thirdly, let's look at altering some habits. Take adequate rest. It's extremely essential for a body to recuperate. Create and inculcate a daily regimen. Being on holiday or working from home does not mean your daily chores should take a break. Set up a time schedule like a regular work a day from the time you wake up. Don't forget to take a good bath every day. And most important, do not forget to shave. And yes, ladies, do not forget to groom yourself every day. If you're working from home, does not mean that you should be walking around in your pajamas the entire day. Wear comfortable but fresh clothes every day. Find time to indulge and interact with your family. This is the best time to rejuvenate human bonding. And that could very well mean helping your spouse with the housework. For people who have lost their job, this could be a good time to introspect on what could be their next steps. Invest some time on doing research online, on any online courses or workshops one can take to increase the chances of employability. Brush up on your current knowledge. Watch educational YouTube videos just like this one. Read some good books of your own interest. Resurrect a hobby that you had kept aside due to your busy schedule. You may never know, it might turn out to be your next business idea. All in all, each one of us needs to remember that our well-being is in our own hands. We need to get the perspective that no matter what you do, you cannot change or control things. This life-changing event in the world has taught us but one thing, that we cannot control everything around us. The best management guru could not have ever foreseen this unprecedented situation. This is a big lesson to management and managers around the world who claim to preach control on situations and people using management principles. However, there is definitely one thing that you can change, is your approach to the events around you, thereby saving yourself from self-inflicted torment. The need of the hour is to have faith in the Supreme Being, be grounded to the reality of life, be humble, and most importantly, not forget this lesson forever in your life. Lesson learned is lesson not forgotten. The sooner humankind wakes up to this fact and alters their behavior, better it will be for everyone. Else, God forbid, we may have a repeat of this episode all over again. I regularly post videos on topics like personal development, business management, marketing, data science, and many more. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to take up such or any other topics. If you're new here, do consider subscribing to the channel and hit the notification bell. Do like the video by giving it a thumbs up and share it far and wide with your friends, relatives, and acquaintances. Help me reach out to people and forge a mutually satisfying alliance. Thanks for watching. Until the next video, you know it. Stay healthy and stay peaceful.